Okay, alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum, if I haven't said salam to everyone, yeah? Inshallah, I just wanted to, before we go out today, share a story from the time of the Prophet ﷺ. There was a battle that took place, and at the end of the battle, the Muslims would collect the spoils of war. We all know what the spoils of war are, right? It's the war booty. And it would be divided amongst the believers. And as it was being divided, Bilal radiallahu anhu, he made a suggestion of how the money should have been, how the spoils of war should have been divided. And at the time, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu ta'ala anhu was there. And he was a very Arab man. Like proper, like Arab, Bedouin. And the problem that the Arabs had was they had arrogance from Jahiliyyah, from before Islam, that Islam got rid of. So Bilal, when he made this suggestion, Abu Dharr looked at him and he insulted him. He disregarded his suggestion, and then he ended by saying, "You son of a black woman." Now, when he said this statement, this hurt Bilal. Because Bilal experienced racism and oppression prior to Islam. Like in these same Arabs, what did? They came and saved him. Abu Bakr from the noble Arabs came, and what did he do? He freed him with all of his wealth, and he gave so much extra money just for Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu to be freed. So he's thinking, well, I thought we left all this behind. What is this talk? We're Muslim now. This is before Islam. And it's hurt him. Caused him a lot of pain. So what did he do? Instead of retaliating, instead of kicking it off, he went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam could reconcile. And this is a very powerful point here, by the way. Sometimes we get into problems with the brothers, and we take it upon ourselves. The smart thing to do is go to someone who's an elder, or someone who's respected by both parties, and say, "Aye, this brother kind of is being a bit disrespectful. Can we sort out the situation?" So he went to the Prophet ﷺ. He did the smart thing, and he went to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, "Ya Rasulullah, this is what Abu Dharr he said to me." The Prophet ﷺ became enraged. How can Abu Dharr say such a thing? So the Prophet ﷺ, he went to Abu Dharr. He said, "Abu Dharr, you are a man. Inside of you is Jahiliyyah. Inside of you is ignorance. And Jahiliyyah is what you would call the days of kufr, the days of shirk." The Prophet said, this is still inside of you. I mean, you can't come to the deen and talk to each other like this. We can't treat each other in this way. So the Prophet told of Abu Dharr. Because Abu Dharr was a believer at the end of the day. He made a mistake. Lakin he was a believer. So when the Prophet told him off, he came to his senses. And he realized what he done was so wrong. He came and he wandered around the streets of Al-Madinah until he found Bilal. And when he found Bilal, he placed his head on the floor. And he said, "Ya Bilal, today in front of everyone, look how this is a big thing for an Arab to do who previously just made a statement of ignorance, of arrogance. But look at how he humbled himself. He took his head, he placed it on the floor. He said, "Ya Bilal, take your foot and place it on my head so that everyone in Medina can see today that you are honored and I am humiliated." So what do you think Bilal did? Did he take revenge? Bilal picked him up. He grabbed him. He kissed him on his forehead. And what did he do? He made up with him. And that's how the believers are. And Abu Dharr learned such a lesson from this, that Imam Bukhari mentions in a narration that one day Abu Dharr, after the Prophet ﷺ had died, Abu Dharr was doing what? He was walking with his slave. And a man came up to Abu Dharr and he said, "Abu Dharr, who is this?" He said, "My slave." He said, "Why does he look like you?" Because the slave didn't dress the way that the master's dressed. Didn't dress the way that the master's dressed. Why? Because he's a worker. Does that make sense? He's an employee. He's property rather. So he doesn't dress the way that he dresses. Lakin, he dressed him in the same clothes he had, just fine, elegant garments. And he remembered the lesson that the Prophet taught. When the Prophet told him, you're a man who's got ignorance in you. So from that day onwards, he never treated anyone like they were below him. Even if this man was a slave, he treated him as if he was on the same level to him. And that's what Islam does, brothers. Islam brings us close. Does that make sense? I keep telling you that. Blood is thicker than water. But Iman is thicker than blood. The reason I'm mentioning this now is because usually when we get to this point of the trip, in Mecca, it gets stressful. The Umrah is. Firstly, the day is you're all traveling. And then the day you do Umrah. And the next day you're recovering. And we always go to Jabal Nur the next day. And then everyone's tired again. So tomorrow, no doubt, you're going to wake up and you're still going to be recovering. I can see from your face you're still tired. And it's very easy for, to be annoying. It's very easy to be annoying and to get annoyed. Does that make sense? So try your best to not annoy anyone, please. And try your best to not get annoyed. Does that make sense? And if it happens, just remember that's your brother. Sometimes your younger brother acts stupid, or your older brother acts stupid. At the end of the day, he's your brother, right? Does that make sense? And remember, the only thing that will tie you together is what? Is Iman. And know that if you love someone for the sake of Allah, what do you get out of that? Allah, He loves you. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned an incident where there was a man that was traveling to go see a brother. And an angel came down and he asked him, where are you going? I'm going to see so-and-so. Why are you going? For no other reason except for the sake of Allah. What do you mean for the sake of Allah? Has he done anything for you? Does he owe you anything? Has this man given something to you that you're going to see him? He said, I'm not going to him for any reason except that he's my brother and I love him for the sake of Allah. I'm going to see him for the sake of Allah. He said, know that if the same way you love him for the sake of Allah, Allah, He now loves you for the sake of Allah. Does that make sense? So this brotherhood, Islamic brothers, even Islamic finance, majority or a huge fraction of Islamic financial law, you know what it's based on? On not creating enmity between brothers. If there's anything that can create problems between two Muslims, the contract is nullified. It can be nullified. Now Islam places so much emphasis on Islamic brotherhood that whole sections in Islamic financial law were made haram. Just so brothers wouldn't get into disputes after this. Does that make sense? So you keep the brotherhood intact. Does that make sense? And I told you that, yeah? The Prophet said, you are not from amongst us. He is not from amongst us. The one who does not show respect to his elders. It's a big thing because we live in the UK where people don't really care for their elders. We talk to their elders, we talk to our mum and dad as if she's one of the mandem. And anyone who doesn't show respect to their elders, and anyone who from their elders doesn't show mercy to the youngers, is not from amongst us. Meaning is not from the Prophet's Sunnah. So it's a big thing. You have to make sure that what? We show each other love. You know what I mean? So with that, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to head to the masjid. Is Abu Bakr here? Is Abu Bakr? Is Abu Bakr? Okay, well, we're going to head to the masjid. Okay, we're going to head to the masjid, inshallah. But if we could head in a way where we are we're walking together, usually there's 10 men in the front, 10 men right in the back, we walk together, just so we can because the masjid is a bit more complicated than Medina, and make sure we don't lose anyone. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Finally, Taha, we're going to be able to produce videos so fast on this new powerful Mac, inshallah ta'ala.
Bro, get off the Mac.
Oh, my bad, bro.
You're bad for real.
Yeah, I didn't see you there, man.
What do you mean you didn't see me? I'm right here.
No, obviously, how am I supposed to see you, bro? At the time we're recording this video, you've not been edited in yet.
Say wallahi.
Yeah, you've been edited.
No way.
Yeah, post-production, my G.
That's mad.
Whole time K visuals, obviously, as you can see.
MashaAllah.
More money came in, we were able to hire a better visual team. That's why we can do stuff like this. But anyway, bro, listen, I need to talk to the people, okay?
Bro, do your thing.
I'm
just going to sit here and listen,
in
inshallah.
the first place.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. As you guys saw literally about just over 25 hours ago, put out a video saying we need to raise money for new media equipment so we could spread La ilaha illallah across the World Wide Web. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, you guys, almost with Allah's permission, have managed to reach the target, which means we're going to be closing that fundraiser very shortly because we're just a few thousand away from our ultimate goal. Now here's the thing, do you know what that means for you? That means you miss out on an opportunity to get mad reward, because as I showed you in the last video, from that one camera we managed to reach 20 million people. That means there's a potential of 20 million rewards just of YouTube. Imagine all the multiple different cameras, the different computers and the thing that we purchase from these donations, and then all the data that we spread across the internet, the kind of reward you'll get. You see, now when that fundraiser closes, your opportunity is gone, and I'd advise you, please don't miss out on that. Like there was a companion at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet told the Sahaba that there's going to be 70,000 from this ummah that are going to go to Jannah without any accountability, which means no questioning. Day of judgment, straight to paradise. So one of the companions, his name was Ukasha. He stood up and he said, Ya Rasulullah, he said, make dua to Allah that I'm from those 70,000. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, Anta minhum. He said, you're from them. It's done. It's done. Another companion heard it and he was like, oh, you just have to do that? So asked the Prophet. So he got up and he said, Ya Rasulullah. He said, make dua to Allah to make me from them as well. And the Prophet said to him, Sabaqaka biha Ukasha. He said, Ukasha beat you to it. That was a limited offer. You missed the window of opportunity. So what that shows you is that don't let someone beat you to the punch. Don't let someone beat you with the opportunity to get that kind of reward. I mean, think about it, man. We've got sins, but I have an opportunity to buy a piece of equipment, which there's going to be multiple rewards that are going to come from it. Rewards in the hundreds and thousands, rewards in the millions potentially, inshallah ta'ala. That's not the kind of good deed that you want to pass up. So anyway, inshallah ta'ala, with that said, I'm going to leave you guys before this guy gets upset.
Open the box.
Yeah, bro, we're going to unbox you soon as the video stops, man. Just be patient, bro. Hasten from Shaitan. Anyway, listen, bro. Before little me gets upset, I have to bounce. But the link is below if you don't want to donate, inshallah ta'ala, so we can spread this da'wah. Listen, inshallah, we're going to spread this da'wah everywhere, inshallah ta'ala. Everywhere that Allah allows us to do. Of course, we can't do it each and every single little place. Before we get a little refutation, oh my God, he said everywhere. Jokers. Assalamu alaikum.